afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday lunch segment. Good afternoon to you wherever you are, whether you are our Grainshed family in Swan Hill or whether you are our Grainshed family in the bigger, wider world out there.
Yes.
And welcome back to Pastor Lamont.
Thank you, Pastor Jody. Wonderful being back.
It's wonderful to have you back. There was a big cheer that went up here in the office when you came back, so it is lovely, and we hope that you had some time to do some resting, and
Yes.
this is good.
I did.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it was wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful doing that.
That's good. And we are
Yes.
going to talk about that a little bit later on.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
have to. Not about what I did, but the importance.
The importance of
But
what
let's
you did.
start at the beginning.
Okay, a very good place to start.
Woo. Always start at number one. So our number one and most important, well, the number one and most important of the most important, and the others will also be one important ones, is our Mother's Day coming up.
Woohoo!
Yes. Well, yoo-hoo for the moms that need to look after babies. And
Yeah.
I had that experience this holiday with the grandchildren, of course. Not looking, just handball them back.
I was wondering then for a minute.
Yes, no, sorry to hear about their problem. I had my turn. But we're going to have Mother's Day on the 9th of May, and I think it's going to be celebrated all over Victoria, and I think in many, many, many churches we're going to celebrate moms. A very, very special day. Just thinking about mothers, I tell you, there are a lot of mothers that may not be natural mothers by giving birth to children, but they've given the hard slog, yes, raising children,
Yep.
going through all those phases,
Oh,
and we just want to thank them for all their hard work. So we want you to come along on the 9th of May, and we're going to have a special video presentation.
We're putting together a tribute for mums. So,
Yes.
Yep.
But that's where it will stay. No secrets will be allowed on air at this moment.
You'll have to come along and see.
They will have to come along.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yes. But that's not all we have in May. We also have, and I know I keep talking about this every week, but it is really exciting. We have our Community Day,
Yeah.
where we are honouring our frontline workers, and then we're having our fair afterwards. So we want you to start inviting people to this day. This is the 23rd of May. We're going to have a massive fair. We're going to have stalls. We're going to have activities. We're going to have little games. Food will be for sale. So please start inviting the community in, because this is going to be one of our major fundraisers
Yeah.
for our Christmas hampers later on in the year.
Oh, yeah.
The more people that come, the more money we can raise, and the more people we can bless later on with our Christmas hampers. So
Yeah, that
please
will be
start
beautiful.
spreading the word.
Yep. So we're going to start early with that. So
We
we're
are.
going to have good momentum
Yes.
rolling up to the end of the year.
Yep.
Love it. Love
Yes.
it. Yes. Well, talking about rolling along, days of the day. We have Mother's Day.
Yep.
But this coming Sunday,
Yes, very,
very, very important day. We have Anzac Day.
Yes. very
Something new, because I didn't grow up in a culture like Anzac
Yeah.
Day. We had soldiers. We come from
Yeah.
I don't want to say a fighting nation, but a nation where military was part of life for many, many decades. But celebrating people and just thanking God for people who were willing to, and still are,
Yes.
putting their lives on the line. And I have a son in the Air Force,
Yes, yeah,
a chaplain,
very
that's
important.
part of that, putting their lives on the line for protecting and serving our wonderful country.
Yeah.
So we want to invite you to come along this coming Sunday. So this Sunday we'll be having Anzac Day. We will try our very best to get some poppies for you guys.
We will.
Yes, so we will
Yes,
try
that'll
our
be-
best to find that.
Yep.
And we will try to give each and every one a poppy. And at the end of this service, are we allowed to say what we're going to do?
You can say if you want.
It,
Just be there.
Just be there.
Yeah.
Just be there. Just
Yes,
be there.
yes.
So Anzac Day special.
Yes, and we were talking about, we're not celebrating war in this. We're just honouring those
Yeah.
that are prepared to serve and to
Yes.
protect us, and for many that have given up their lives for us.
Yes, yes. War is actually a tremendously sad thing, because there are
is.
no winners in war.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter everybody gets hurt in war. But we are so thankful for people stepping out
Yes.
into dangerous zones,
Yeah.
putting their life on the line to protect,
That's right.
to love and to serve people and their country.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is I was just talking to Jody and we were talking about values. And this coming Sunday, I am going to talk a little bit on Anzac, and I'm also going to talk on values over the next 2 Sundays, and how that would be part of a value.
Yeah.
I mean, people value what they do and they do what they value, and these people value their country.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to run ahead of my sermon, but we are going to talk on values, and it is wonderful just talking on these things. What I'm also going to do is I want to encourage you to, when you're at church, to grab maybe a couple of questions which I'm going to formulate around the whole idea of values. And I really want you to think about maybe I'm going to do my sermons a bit shorter, and you can invite maybe a friend or two, maybe 1 or 2, maybe more, to come to your house and have a listen to the sermon and use those discussion questions for a host group, the way you host the Sunday sermon which I've preached on, and have a discussion around that. You don't have to be a qualified small group leader.
No.
You don't even have to know a lot. But those questions will be there.
It's all done for you.
Yes, it's there.
Yeah.
So invite a couple of people over for tea or coffee or dinner on a Sunday or whenever.
Yeah.
And say, hey, listen to my pastor's sermon. He spoke on values.
Yep.
And let's have a conversation around that. And that will also tell you a bit more about people and where their hearts might be.
Yep.
So think about that. So we invite you to be a part of that this coming Sunday, as we also have Anzac Day and we commemorate the tremendous gift that people gave, and that would be their lives.
We want you to do a bit of homework as well, though, because we want you to have a think about what you believe the grain shed values are. Because the butcher's paper is back, people.
Yeah, which,
And we want you to be able to just make a note on that as to what you think or believe the grain shed values are.
yes. Every organization has values.
That's right.
It may have been stated on a piece of paper,
Yep.
or people just observe it.
Yes.
So what we want you to do is to think and pray about what would the grain shed values be. So, and I bet you there are some things that are ingrained
Yep.
in the grain shed which you say, oh, that would definitely be a value of the grain shed.
Yes.
And we would like you to write that down, because that will help us when we as a strategic development team think about the core values of our church, that we can formulate. Because it's one thing for me to think about the core values or another person, but when we have many people's insight and opinions about values, it may differ in certain areas, but at the end it will all narrow down to a couple of really core values. And that's what we want to discover, and we need you to help us to do that. So come this Sunday, and maybe the Sunday after that, you can put down the core values which you think would be in the grain shed.
That's right. And that way it's not just you saying this is what I believe we should have, but this is a journey for all of us to be
because
taken on.
values, Jody, is something that people hold dear.
Yes.
People die for values.
That's right, they do.
That's what Anzac Day is also all about.
It is, yes.
People die for values. People die for a symbol like a flag.
Yep.
And when you look at the grain shed, people say, hey, this is a value. We will not ignore this. We will not push it away. We will commit to this.
That's right.
So we want you to put your core values, which you see in the grain shed, from your point of view, on that butcher's paper this coming Sunday, please.
That's right. Speaking of values, we did touch on it at the start there, but one of the values that I believe we should all have is, especially after the last little while, resting. Resting our mind, resting our body, and resting our soul.
So, yep.
And you've just had a couple of weeks of trying to do a bit of that.
Yes.
And I would encourage everybody to take a leaf out of Lamont's book because it is so important. We can get so busy and we can get so tied up in the moment that we forget that in our busyness, we actually need to be rested to be able to work efficiently.
Yes, I have seen that, Jody. You know, if our viewers now at the moment would say, "Oh, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good," and I also said that, and maybe I was good, nothing wrong.
Yep.
But when I went away and I sat there and I thought to myself, I think I do need this.
Yeah.
Just breaking away, and you don't really know this or discover this until you take that break and you move along. So I would encourage people not just to act according to what they feel, because sometimes we feel so obligated to do what we should do
Yes.
and are called to do, but we forget that we are also called to look after ourselves.
That's it. God rested on the seventh day as an example that we must also do some of that resting as well. And I encourage you to be really self-aware of this as well. I know for me, I get very busy with some things, and for sometimes it's like, I've just got to get to the end of this week because I've just got to do A, B, C, D and X, Y and Z. That's probably a pretty good warning sign that you need to at least take a day and start going, you know what, just reevaluate everything.
Exactly.
Look at your life. What can you cut out and where do you actually need to step back from? Because if you're starting to say, I've just got to get to the end of the week or I've just got to get through this day, then it's probably not the healthiest.
No, it's
and I
not.
will be the first to put up my hand to say I am one of those people. But it's an encouragement. As a leader, Lamont has shown us that how important it is to do this. He's come back and I'm
On
here
fire,
to say he is
passionate.
back.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yes.
Well, except if you need a holiday.
Yeah, but I just encourage everyone to be self-aware a little bit, to really check yourselves when you're starting to think, I just need to do whatever. If you're saying, I just need to, then have a think about what you just need to really do.
Yeah, just take a holiday.
That's a good one. Yeah,
So you do it.
yeah, definitely.
Yes. We want to thank you today for joining us and looking at our lunchtime segment. And we hope that the things that are lying ahead here at the Grain Shed excites you.
Yeah.
And we want you to be a part of that. In any way, if it's a host group, writing down the values, just being here and being a blessing for the rest of the people, we want to encourage you to keep on doing the right thing. May God bless you and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday.
Have a blessed week, everybody, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.